Can anyone remember when George Clooney wasn't a movie star? The actor toiled in television for almost 20 years before landing his breakout role in 1994 as Dr. Doug Ross in the iconic medical drama From teen movie stars to iconic character actors, Hollywood has lost a lot of greats over the last decade or so. So many, in fact, that some may have slipped under your radar. Michelle Thomas. Family Matters star Michelle Thomas died on deck. However, despite reaching unprecedented professional success, he left the show in 1999. 1998 after battling a rare form of stomach cancer. The rest, as they say, is history. In 1988, during a decade of muscle-bound action stars, Bruce Willis was plucked from his biggest job to date, the comedic detective series Moonlighting, to become an unlikely action hero in Die Hard. He hasn't returned to starring television roles since. Granted, the case could be made that he shouldn't return to any more Die Hard movies, but we digress. The point is, some actors have left their greatest professional success to enjoy even greater success. She was just 30 years old. Thomas played Steve Urkel's perky girlfriend Myra Monkhouse on the series from 1993 until 1998. Following Family Matters, she joined the cast of the daytime soap opera The Young and the Restless in August 1998. She left the soap to go on medical leave in October of that year, according to her obituary in The New York Times. Bob Hoskins. Actor Bob Hoskins, best known for Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and his Oscar-nominated turn in Mona Lisa, seemed like one of those great character actors who had been around forever and would continue gracing the silver screen for centuries to come. Our list below isn't those people. Unfortunately, the legendary Brit died in April 2014 after a bout with pneumonia, according to BBC News. Here are a few actors who destroyed their careers by walking away from a hit show. Chevy Chase cancelled himself for a girl. Historians will rightly call Saturday Night Live a groundbreaking late-night sketch show that cemented itself as a comedy institution during its near 5-decade run. However, when it first premiered in 1975, not many knew what it would become, including original cast member Chevy Chase. As one of the iconic show's breakout stars, Chase decided to leave halfway through season 2 to marry his second wife, Jacqueline Carlin. He was 71. Ashley Aston Moore. Ashley Aston Moore was known to practically every young girl who grew up in the 90s for playing the neurotic, food-loving, little Chrissy in the coming-of-age drama Now and Then. "I tried to pretend that everything was great," the comedian told the Los Angeles Times in 2011. Details of her death are vague. However, Life and Style magazine said she died from an alleged drug overdose in December 2007 at age 26. Her Now and Then co-star, Thora Birch, confirmed Moore's death in a 2015 interview with ABC News. "I was leaving really because there was a girl I wanted to marry that I was infatuated with out here. The whole thing was crazy because I was a young fellow who was infatuated with the wrong person." Ashley Aston Moore was a really cool kid, she said. "Everybody there knew it except me. She had a great personality and I remember making fun of Chrissy's lines with her from time to time because neither of us could believe that Chrissy was so clueless. I had not heard about her passing until a couple years ago, and was saddened by the news. She still lives on as Chrissy to me." Edward Herrmann. One actor who sadly didn't appear in Netflix's Gilmore Girls revival is Edward Herrmann, who died on December 31, 2014, after a tough battle with brain cancer. He was 71. "A woman who would not move to New York and insisted that I come there. It was all nuts, looking back on it. But I did regret it." Chase did become one of the biggest stars of the 80s, but his career flamed out for a multitude of reasons. Rumors that the vacation star is a nightmare to work with. In just one example, when asked about his reportedly rough experience with Chase on Community, co-star Donald Glover told The New Yorker, "I just saw Chevy as fighting time. A true artist has to be okay with his reign being over. I can't help him if he's thrashing in the water." Herrmann played father to Lauren Graham's Lorelai and grandfather to Alexis Bledell's Rory on the hit WB series. Both actresses grieved his death in the early days of 2015. "My friend Ed Herrmann was the kindest, classiest, most talented man. But I know there's a human in there somewhere. Ouch." Will Wheaton boldly went where lots of actors end up going. Actor Will Wheaton became known to general audiences for playing Gordy LaChance in the 1986 film Stand By Me, but his career-defining role came the following year. Cast as Wesley Crusher, the only son of Beverly Crusher, the chief medical officer aboard the USS Enterprise on Star Trek: The Next Generation, Wheaton was an essential part of the seminal series. However, 4 seasons later, Wheaton quit the show to seek other opportunities in television and movies. "It was an honor and a joy to know him, a devastating blow to lose him," Graham tweeted. A cursory glance at his IMDb reveals that those dreams never fully materialized. "I left Star Trek: The Next Generation when I was 18 years old, and initially I thought that it was a really smart business career move," Wheaton said during a Star Trek reunion at the Calgary Expo in 2012. "In some ways it was, and in more ways it wasn't. Ed Herman was a wonderful actor and a kind man. And, what I was unprepared for was how much I was going to miss the people on this stage. After that ended, I just felt really ashamed of myself." He was endlessly knowledgeable about theater, TV and film, and would generously share his wisdom or tell stories from a long and rewarding career, Bladel told TV Line. James Rebhorn Hollywood lost an incredible film and television actor when James Rebhorn succumbed to his battle with melanoma on March 21, 2014. According to The Hollywood Reporter, he had been fighting the disease since 1992. Rebhorn had bit roles in some of the most successful movies and TV shows of all time, ranging from Independence Day, Meet the Parents, and the Emmy-winning Homeland. "And I felt like I just couldn't go to the set, and I felt like I couldn't look them in the eye," he continued. "I felt like I didn't have the right to invite them to my wedding." He was 65. Stuart Scott, one of the most iconic ESPN anchors of all time, died in January of 2015 after a lengthy battle with cancer. He was just 49 years old. "Years after that, I sort of saw them at a few conventions and I just tried to sort of say, I apologize for being a kid." Suzanne Summers took a stand and her career paid the price in 1977. Suzanne Summers' life changed when she was cast as the ditzy Chrissy Snow in the hit sitcom Three's Company. However, ahead of season 5, trouble began when she asked for equal pay to that of her co-star John Ritter, who was making $150,000 per episode, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Scott joined ESPN in 1993 and quickly became one of the network's most popular and beloved personalities, due in great part to spirited catchphrases, such as, "Booyah." In 2014, Stewart spoke about his battle with cancer, which began in 2007 after an emergency appendectomy revealed a malignancy, at the ESPY Awards, telling the audience, "When you die, it does not mean that you lose to cancer." Summers was making $30,000. The network counter-offered with a $5,000 raise, and when she refused, her role was decreased to 60 seconds per episode and shot separately from the rest of the cast, according to Business Insider. "You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and in the manner in which you live." Composer James Horner died in June of 2015 after the single-engine S-312 Tucano turboprop plane he was piloting crashed near Santa Barbara, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Horner scored numerous movies throughout his career, including Avatar, Braveheart, and Field of Dreams. And with that, she walked. Summers' career immediately took a nosedive, unless you count The Thighmaster, and didn't really recover until she landed a starring role on the TGIF hit Step by Step in 1991, which ran for a solid 7 seasons. It took much longer to rebound in the same way with her Three's Company co-stars, John Ritter and Joyce DeWitt, who refused to speak to her for decades. His biggest success came in 1997 when he scored the music for Titanic and its accompanying hit song, My Heart Will Go On. Horner received 2 Oscars for Titanic in 1998. He was 61. Doris Roberts. Emmy-winning actress Doris Roberts of Everybody Loves Raymond died in her sleep on April 17, 2016, according to Variety. "To this day, I feel a sadness for not being able to finish out Three's Company," Summers told the Television Academy Foundation in 2009. "I still have a heartache that it ended so badly, this wonderful thing." She was 90. Roberts won 4 Emmy Awards for her work on Raymond, capping off a career that spanned decades on the small screen. Her legacy lives on today as millions continue to tune in for the sitcom's repeats. Mindy McCready. Troubled country singer Mindy McCready was found dead on her front porch from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound on Feb. 17, 2013, according to CNN. She was 37. "John Ritter and I made up right before he died, which I was so glad." Fortunately, Summers also managed to finally make amends with DeWitt in 2012 when the two appeared on Summers' Breaking Through series for an emotional reunion. Brian Dunkelman went from American Idol to Uber when American Idol hit the airwaves in 2002. It became a nationwide phenomenon and ushered in the age of singing competition television series and changed the face of music forever. You rattle off the household names it created easily: Simon Cowell, Randy Jackson, Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood, Fantasia. McCready's death occurred about a month after her boyfriend, David Wilson, shot and killed himself. At the time of her death, it was reported that she also shot and killed Wilson's dog. If you or someone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK, 8255, or text HOME to the crisis text line at 741741. Carol Spinney. Apart from Jim Henson or Frank Oz, there's nobody more associated with the beloved Muppets than Carol Spinney. And there's certainly no one more synonymous with Sesame Street, the performer's workplace for nearly 50 years. The list goes on and on. But has anyone reached the level of success of its host Ryan Seacrest? The guy is everywhere, and still presumably living extremely comfortably since going from the jaw-dropping $21 million deal he signed with E! in 2006 to his current net worth of $430 million. Spinney's face may not be recognizable, but his voice and heart probably are. He operated the inquisitive and friendly Big Bird, from the inside, and the nasty but likable Oscar the Grouch, by puppeteering from inside a prop trash can. However, some of you might remember that the first season had two hosts, Ryan Seacrest and Brian Dunkelman. The latter left the show to pursue, wait for it, a career in stand-up comedy. His plan didn't work out, as he revealed in a January 2019 tweet that he chose to stop doing stand-up comedy and started driving an Uber, to support his family during a particularly rough patch in their lives. Needless to say, he wishes he remained on the show. Spinney, and his characters, had been part of Sesame Street since it began in 1969, helping to teach and entertain multiple generations of children around the world. Spinney retired from puppeteering in 2015, and 4 years later died after long suffering from the neurological disorder dystonia, according to USA Today. Spinney was 85. Bob Einstein spent his whole life as one of the comedy cool kids. Son of radio performer Harry Einstein and brother of comic filmmaker and actor Albert Brooks, Einstein launched himself into the air, walls, and stardom in the 70s and 80s as the character, Super Dave, a daredevil for whom things always hilariously went wrong. A fixture on variety and late-night shows, Einstein starred as the character on the standalone Super Dave show on Showtime from 1987 to 1991. He brought his distinctive raspy voice to many episodes of Crank Yankers, recurred as professional surrogate Larry Middleman on the cult classic Arrested Development, and played Larry David's best frenemy, Marty Funkhauser, on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Following a recent cancer diagnosis, according to Deadline, Einstein died in January 2019 at age 76. Natasha Richardson. Actress Natasha Richardson died in March 2009 after injuring her head during a ski accident. Richardson's husband, Liam Neeson, spoke about her death in a 2014 interview on 60 Minutes, revealing, "I spoke to her after the accident, and she said, 'Oh darling. I've taken a tumble in the snow.'" That's how she described it. Neeson, who was filming a movie in Toronto at the time, flew to a hospital in Montreal, where he received the terrible news. "The undeniable truth is, I just didn't have the wisdom at the time to handle what was happening," Dunkelman wrote in Variety in 2016. "I was told she was brain dead," he revealed. "And I went in to her and told her I loved her. Do I regret not remaining on the show now that it's coming to an end? Yes. Especially when I open my bank statements. Jason Priestley isn't trying to be Brandon Walsh anymore." Beverly Hills, 90,210, was an instant classic when it premiered on October. Said, "Sweetie, you're not coming back from this. You've banged your head." 1990. It's, "I don't know if you can hear me, but this is what's gone down." The cast, who were unknowns when the teen drama began, became megastars during the show's decade-long run. "And we're bringing ya back to New York. All your family and friends will come." And that was more or less it. She was 45. Katherine Hellman. While she had a lengthy film resume that included roles in classics like Brazil and Overboard, Katherine Helmond will likely forever be most remembered for her work as matriarchs on two ABC sitcoms, one critically acclaimed and the other extremely popular. On the soap parody Soap, she played the forever-tested Jessica Tate, and on Who's the Boss? A few years later, she played Mona Robinson, the elderly but still randy mother of Angela Bauer. After that show wrapped in 1992, Helmond joined the cast of Coach as a football team owner and voiced old-timey Car Lizzie in Pixar's Cars movies. But Jason Priestley, who became a teen heartthrob as Brandon Walsh, decided 9 seasons was enough, and he left the show believing he did all he could do with the character. In retrospect, I do regret leaving, Priestley told CNN in 2014. Understanding what I do now about story and character, I believe that Aaron Spelling was pushing the story in a direction that would have had Brandon and Kelly end up together at the end of the show, and I think I probably should have stuck around to its fruition. Ironically, Priestley admitted that his departure was terrible for the show. I think there was no more moral center to the show, he explained. According to BBC, the actress died at her Los Angeles home in February 2019 after a battle with Alzheimer's disease. Danny Aiello. If movie casting agents needed an actor to play a middle-aged tough guy from the New York area in the 80s and 90s, it's likely they called Danny Aiello first. There was no more linchpin. There were no more Walshes in the Walsh house. He played a New York police chief in the crime saga Once Upon a Time in America, a Depression-era lout from New Jersey in The Purple Rose of Cairo, Cher's sweet but dumb Brooklynite fiancé in Moonstruck, Madonna's Brooklyn-bred Papa in her "Papa Don't Preach" music video, and, most memorably, the complex racist pizza shop proprietor Sal in Spike Lee's seminal Do the Right Thing. It kind of didn't make sense anymore. So, I regret leaving the show for all those reasons. Just 1 year before expressing his regret over leaving Beverly Hills, 90,210, Priestley seemed to say that repeating that level of stardom wasn't his goal. That performance earned him a number of awards and accolades, including an Academy Award nomination. "I still have this incredibly active and very successful career," he told The Hollywood Reporter in 2013, adding, "I work on projects all around the world and win awards, and I'm pretty much invisible in Hollywood." And yet, Priestley did attempt to breach the mainstream once more in 2019 with the series revival BH 90210. According to the New York Times, Aiello died at the age of 86 in December 2019. Dana Hill got her big break at age 21, becoming the second actress to play Audrey Griswold, in National Lampoon's European Vacation. It was cancelled after 1 season. Shannon Doherty's co-stars weren't exactly charmed by her, although she had a small role in 1988's cult classic Heathers. Shannon Doherty became a household name as Brenda Walsh 2 years later in the teen drama Beverly Hills 90210. Throughout the 80s and 90s, she worked primarily as a voice actress in a lot of fondly remembered animated films and TV shows, including Goof Troop in the lead role of Goofy's son Max, Jetsons, the movie, Duckman, Sonic the Hedgehog, Rugrats, and Pound Puppies. Hill was a type 1 diabetic, and, according to People, diabetes had stunted her growth as a child, later damaged her kidneys, causing her physical appearance to deteriorate to the point where casting directors stopped calling. In May 1996, Hill fell into a diabetic coma. Weeks later, she suffered a stroke, and in July of that year died from complications at the age of 32. Cameron Boyce, a working actor since the age of 9, Cameron Boyce became a common presence on the Disney Channel in his teens, putting in appearances on sitcoms like Liv and Maddie, Bunked, and co-starring and Jessie. However, by the 4th season, Doherty had earned a reputation as being difficult on set. And a reported fistfight between her and fellow co-star Jenny Garth was allegedly the last straw for Doherty's castmates, specifically Tori Spelling. Boyce also portrayed Carlos, the son of 101 Dalmatians Cruella de Vil, trying to go legit in the network's 3 ultra-popular Descendants movies. Outside of Disney, he's best known for his role as Adam Sandler's son, Keith, in the Grown Ups flicks. In 2015, via Us Weekly, Spelling revealed that she made a call to her father, legendary producer Aaron Spelling, that resulted in Doherty's firing. Spelling gave Doherty another chance 4 years later in his WB series Charmed, but by the end of the 3rd season, Doherty was let go amid rumors of a feud with co-star Alyssa Milano. Boyce passed away at home in July 2019, according to a family statement via Today of a seizure as a result of an ongoing medical condition, and that condition was epilepsy. He was 20. According to a report in the New York Daily News, Doherty's departure was called a mutual decision. Still, sources said Milano gave the producers an ultimatum: either Doherty goes or she would. Rose McGowan subsequently replaced Doherty. However, in 2013, Milano told host Andy Cohen, via Us Weekly, that the cast never really found out why Doherty left the show, but she didn't paint the best picture either, admitting, there were definitely some rough days. Doherty herself even got candid about the fallout, telling Parade via E! News in 2010, "I had this amazing career in front of me, and because of some of the things I did, my career really suffered. Thank God that I've had some second chances." Polly Perrette called out her co-star and bailed on her biggest role for 15 seasons. Polly Perrette played fan-favorite forensic scientist Abby Sciuto on NCIS. But on Sunday, May 13, 2018, she left the show, then dropped a series of cryptic tweets about the dark reason behind her exit. "There is a machine keeping me silent, and feeding false stories about me. A very rich, very powerful publicity machine. No morals, no obligation to truth, and I'm just left here, reading the lies, trying to protect my crew. Trying to remain calm. He did it," she tweeted. She added, "It's horrifying. I left. Multiple physical assaults. I really get it now. Stay safe. Nothing is worth your safety. Tell someone." A month later, Perrette alleged that NCIS star Mark Harmon was involved when there was speculation that Perrette might return. "No, I am not coming back. Ever. Please stop asking. I am terrified of Harmon and him attacking me. I have nightmares about it," she tweeted. In a statement obtained by People, CBS confirmed her allegations. "Over a year ago, Polly came to us with a workplace concern," part of the statement read. "We took the matter seriously and worked with her to find a resolution." At the time of this writing, Harmon has yet to respond to Perrette's allegations. Since her departure, Perrette's career has been stagnant. According to IMDb, her only project, as of this writing, is the pilot of a 2020 CBS comedy Broke, which hasn't really generated any buzz and doesn't have any other big names attached to it. Alicia Lisi Göransson will always be Old Becky during Roseanne's original run on ABC. Alicia Lisi Göransson left her role as Becky Connor to attend college during the hit sitcom's fifth season. She returned 3 seasons later, where she shared the part with Sarah Chalke, but she then left the show for good the following season. After her time on Roseanne, Göransson's acting career didn't reach the heights she was expecting. It started well. She starred in 2 indie hits, 1995's How to Make an American Quilt and 1997's Boys Don't Cry, the film that put Hilary Swank on the map. But after that, her credits consisted of guest spots on various television shows like Law and Order, SVU, Damages, Fringe, and Sex and the City. That all changed in 2018 when she returned as Becky Connor in the Roseanne reboot. It premiered to massive ratings but was ultimately cancelled after Roseanne Barr fired off a racist tweet about former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett. Devastated by the cancellation of At Roseanne on ABC, Göransson wrote in a now-deleted tweet via Deadline. But more devastating are the effects of hate speech and racism on individuals and society. Thank you for your support. And, in the spirit of our amazing crew, spread love not hate. At the time of this writing, Göransson is playing the eldest Connor daughter once again in the Roseanne Les the Connors. Christopher Eccleston went from Doctor Who to Who. After 17 years off the air, Doctor Who, the beloved and iconic sci-fi series, was rebooted in 2005 with actor Christopher Eccleston cast as the 9th Doctor. The marriage looked bright, but after just 1 season, Eccleston quit the series due to creative differences with the show's producers. He was replaced by David Tennant, who held the role for the next 8 years. During a 2016 interview with 774 ABC Melbourne's Drive, via Gizmodo, Eccleston admitted that it was tragic that he was unable to play the character longer. "I was learning new skills, in terms of playing light comedy," he explained. "I was not known for light comedy, and, again, production did not allow for that." However, speaking to The Guardian in 2018, he revealed that his decision to leave the show almost cost him his career. "What happened around Doctor Who almost destroyed my career," he explained. "I gave them a hit show and I left with dignity, and then they put me on a blacklist. I was carrying my own insecurities as it was something I had never done before, and then I was abandoned, vilified in the tabloid press, and blacklisted. The same year, he told Radio Times, "My relationship with my three immediate superiors, the showrunner, the producer and co-producer, broke down irreparably during the first block of filming and it never recovered. They lost trust in me, and I lost faith and trust and belief in them.